Browns 0-8 at home. Just sad.
I haven't heard you this down since Dr. Brown got fired. It's a game that we were in, and it's a game that we just don't finish.
I don't want to watch anymore.
Why? Why does that happen? I'm so sick of watching those plays.
0-16.
I definitely do not want to watch this all 22.
That's up and down to me. That looks like dysfunction. Welcome back, Survivors, episode 42, season 3. This is Surviving the Season. I am Adam. Greg is here.
Yo! Live from my hotel bathroom. Kids are sleeping in the other room. A couple of them. Other one's starving. Wife's doing work. So our only chance to get in this pod while I'm on vacation. The next one could take part from a cruise liner.
Browns lose today 29-13. 4-7-1.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I had to watch today at a Buffalo Wild Wings. Usually I get to watch from home. It was rough. It was Jag fans everywhere. At one point, I'm screaming during the Callaway touchdowns, both of them, making a scene.
Yeah. And
just a tip of the cap from Jags fans and condolences sent my way. They know what it's like to be there.
Yeah, Jags had a real barn burner today, 6-0. Hey, Cody Kessler, motherfuckers.
First career win for Cody Kessler. I was talking about that as well. I know all about Cody Kessler. Let me tell you guys.
Cody Kessler gets a W. Baker Mayfield takes an L, 29-43, 397 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Tough day in the first half.
Truly the tale of two halves. I don't know what he had at halftime. I think it was around 50-some yards, but it was the 3 turnovers that absolutely killed the Browns on the day. What did we end up in the turnover battle? Did we give up 4?
Yeah, 4 turnovers to 0.
Okay, so, when that happens, the chance of you winning is like 1%. Now, just this year, we had the same thing, and we tied the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've had it where we're +2 in takeaways, and we lose. So it's happened to us, but typically when that happens, you don't stand a chance. And the nice thing about what the Browns did today, what Baker Mayfield did today, is that he fought back in the second half. They came out firing, not afraid. Baker said, "Look, I threw a couple picks. Who cares? That's what gunslingers do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep on slinging it." And he did, and they battled back as much as they could, and just came up short. So when I look at this game, you see the score 29-13. I don't go, oh, Houston absolutely destroyed us today. I think the Browns are in this game, minus these turnovers. That's just the major difference, and I know that's a huge part of the game. But I think from a talent aspect, when you look at it, we're there. We're as talented as this team. It's just we can't make the mistakes. And as Baker gets older, more experienced, this is something he's going to learn from. It's something that Baker brought up after the game. Same thing with Greg Williams, said these are things that Baker's going to learn from.
Sure. Yeah. It's rookie stuff right now. I thought he forced
the finest rookie play that you've ever seen. And of course we know this. Now the pundits out there that have attacked him all week after he goes in on Hugh Jackson, they're going to show up in droves, and they're going to see, hey, you see, Baker shouldn't have been talking.
Yeah, I mean, who cares about that? That's just noise from the outside. Doesn't really matter. As Freddie Kitchens said, what matters is what's in the locker room, and that's about it. I don't know if anyone should even pay attention to any of those people.
Oh,
it is frustrating, but
we recorded right before the Freddie Kitchens thing. But how pumped up did that Freddie Kitchens press conference get you?
Yeah, it was great. Was that Thursday or Friday?
I think it was Thursday. We had just got done recording, and then that comes out, and I was like, "Dear God, this happens every time we record something." Like, then we miss this spectacular display of it just. I mean, again, he's talking about having everybody's back, and hey, Baker says it must be true because he don't blow smoke up people's asses. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But
no, if anyone wants to watch that, clevelandbrowns.com, click on videos, and then you can find the press conferences. It is from Thursday of last week. Freddie Kitchens bringing heat.
If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. It was fantastic. It makes me want this guy to stick around even more. And you can look at that first half and go, well, they didn't do anything offensively. Yeah, again, it was Baker Mayfield's bad decisions. I thought the Texans made a nice play on one of them, just making the interception. I think it was when the linebacker peeled back. He was going inside. I thought that was a hell of a catch. The one that Baker even said after the game that he absolutely 100% forced was that ball to Njoku that he just kind of threw up. And
he said, end zone.
Yep. He goes, and we'll see this when we go back and watch the All-22. He said, that's 100% my fault. David's open. He's got the matchup we want, a linebacker man-on-man. I don't throw it right away. I hesitated, and then I threw it late. And once you throw it late, that's what happens. And he goes, that's the one that I definitely want to get back. The other two, I was trying to be aggressive, just didn't work out. That's fine. You're not going to go through your career without throwing interceptions. Everybody's going to throw picks. So it's how you bounce back. Once you get knocked down, it's how you get up. And Baker got up and went for like 350 yards in the second half.
Yeah, 351 yards. You got to fit some balls into some tight windows. So I got no problem with what he's trying to do. If a couple of passes get picked off, they get picked off,
Yep. I thought let's do a little redemption day for Jarvis Landry. How about that? He showed up, made a couple of catches that most people wouldn't. The one being thrown behind him, and then the Texans player come over and hits him, and the ball just sort of gets lodged into his chest. That was fantastic.
Yeah, 6 receptions, 9 targets, 103 yards. Nice day for Landry. I don't really want to go back to the Kitchens thing, but I think he had it right. When the read is there, someone's going to be open. So we're trying to create this guy's open or this guy's open. If it's Landry or it's Callaway or it's Higgins or whoever, you want Baker to deliver the ball to the right read. And when you throw it to Jarvis, he catches it. He doesn't do anything after the catch, but
right. Well,
that's the issue.
His targets were back up there. I mean, he's been getting low targets. Now he gets up there with 9 targets and makes good work of it. Same thing, Antonio Callaway. Look, he fumbles that ball. But I mean, who else on this team? There's not another guy on this team that would even be in that position to make that play because they catch the ball, they instantly go down. I mean, Antonio Callaway is dead tired. He catches that ball. He breaks the tackle. He's running down the field. He just ran 70 yards the play before.
Yeah.
Called back on the hold. I mean, that's when I lost my mind and go, okay, this game's just Brownsy. There's nothing. Sometimes the game goes Brownsy as fuck, and you just got to accept it. That's what happens. I mean, you look back. On Twitter, I compared Baker Mayfield's first half performance to Drew Brees' first half performance from Thursday night. Like, are you going to tell me Drew Brees isn't a good quarterback? The New Orleans Saints aren't a good team? No, of course. You're going to say that's just a bad game. This is 100% what I just think that you got from the Cleveland Browns today. They came out and they just didn't have it. They made, and really, to be honest, a lot of the guys did have it. Baker didn't have it. And when it comes down to your quarterback not having it, that's when you're really going to fall behind quickly. And the Houston Texans are a good enough team that you're not going to be able to make up those points.
Here's what Houston did defensively. They rushed 4, and they jumped all the short routes. They knew Browns tackles are liable to give up some pressure, and we're going to jump the short routes. The 2 times Callaway went deep and Baker threw it, he was open. He got a DPI on 1. He scored on 2 separate plays, minus the fumble.
I forgot
the Houston. When the All-22 comes out, you're going to see Houston safeties. The coaching for Houston knew that Baker was going to try to get the ball out quickly, and they were jumping everything. So 3 picks is 3 picks, but a tip of the hat to Houston coaching staff watching last week and seeing what the Browns are trying to do, and then coming in and doing it and not being afraid.
Yeah, we didn't even have much of an opportunity in the first half. I don't have I'm sitting at a bar, so I don't get to keep my normal notes like I do. But from a play standpoint, it's not like we didn't run very many plays because we went 3-and-out, and then Baker threw a pick right after like 6 plays or something. Then we came back and he threw the very first play of the drive. He threw another pick. I mean, our time of possession was way down in the first half. So it didn't seem like, I mean, that's part of the reason why you're not getting offensive numbers in the first half. I think we probably would have been able to move the ball. If you look at the from an offensive line standpoint, we didn't give up any sacks again.
Yeah, no sacks.
They got it done. The one thing we talked about that we knew we were going to really struggle is trying to run the ball, and we did. There was just no running lanes there at all. Of course, we only had 9 carries on the day because we were behind quick. That's, Nick Chubb gets all 9 carries for 31 yards and had the touchdown, but there just wasn't much room. And we knew that Houston is just one of the best defensive teams when it comes to stopping the run. So we had to throw it a little bit. But yeah, it's just a tough day. Once you get behind trying to catch up, they gave it their all. I mean, there's no quitting this team today. That's for sure.
Baker Mayfield is not afraid of throwing picks. He doesn't care. They came out in the second half and still threw the ball around. I mean, he'll walk out of the game with 6 interceptions as long as he thought, okay, I made my right reads. We have to forgive some rookie mistakes. That's part of the game. You're 4-6-1 going into the game. If you drop one to a 9-3 team, it's not the end of the world. This is the season you want Mayfield to throw it around and go, okay, I can't do that in the NFL. This is not a good decision. You don't want to do that in the playoffs or you're fighting for a playoff spot. This is the year, which is why it's important that Baker now has 9 games under his belt or 8 games, whatever it is, to go out there and be confident to throw the ball through some tight windows and not give a fuck if it gets picked.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's that outside glimmer of hope that if everything goes perfectly, we could possibly make the playoffs. And then that's kind of down the chutes, today. But, it is what it is. Like, chances are it wasn't happening. That was basically, I think there's still an outside chance if crazy things happen. But yeah, you're right. We're playing for next year for the most part and really just getting them ready. I mean, think about how much more improved Baker will be in a year. Especially working with these guys as well. It just wasn't Jarvis Landry. It wasn't just Callaway today making plays. I mean, Rashard Higgins had the big touchdown, 4 catches, 62 yards on 4 targets, efficient as always. Perryman caught 2 more balls for 26 yards. Seth DeVell, the one, was it initially ruled a fumble or was that initially ruled incomplete? I didn't know because there was no sound.
It was initially ruled a fumble, which was just a terrible call, but
yeah, that definitely was not a fumble. But look, he's there, he's making the play. The guy just makes an absolutely perfect hit onto his elbow. There's nobody in the league is hanging on to that ball. But Seth DeVell showing he can get open and showing that he'll catch the ball when you put it on him. Again, you see that. I think Freddie Kitchens is recognizing who the playmakers are on this team, and he's getting them on the field. That wasn't happening earlier in the year. Now Duke only ends up with 2 catches and 12 yards, but I think if they're in this game a little bit more, I don't think you see Dontrell Hilliard at the end of the game. I think they get Hilliard in, get him some play. The game's sort of out of reach. Let Duke rest, and you don't want to get him hurt because he's such a focal point of your offense when you're playing well.
Yeah.
So basically, on offense, David Njoku, what he have? That was the only person I don't think we talked about. 3 catches, 8 yards. He did have the one that was like a negative 6-yard catch, so that skewed his stats a little bit. But yeah, he didn't get too much going. Baker said he missed him a couple times where it flat out it was just hit a bad job by Baker not getting him the ball in certain spots. Offensively, I think that's about it. Do you want to move over to the defensive side of the ball here a little bit?
Yep.
Myles Garrett, again, what do you have today? 1.5 sacks?
Yeah, tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, 3 tackles.
Stud. But it looked like every time. The one thing that I just don't like that they do is when they rush against a guy like Deshaun Watson, I wish they didn't rush with such reckless abandon. and they really formed a pocket more. They really made them, tried to keep them, because once we go man and Garrett comes flying from the outside and he gets behind the quarterback, all Deshaun Watson was doing in those cases was stepping up and moving forward. And I know that's what Greg Williams is telling him, to be super aggressive like that, but it just opens up these running lanes. What did Watson end up with running? 7 carries, 30 yards, but how many of those turn into first downs? Also, the other thing is, if we don't give up those long third downs, there was 2 of them on 2 separate drives that they go down and score on. You're talking about this score being completely different. We gave up a 3rd and 15. I know you keep track of these, and then there was like a 3rd and 11. Then later in the second half, there was a 3rd and 9. Those are the times that you got to make a play.
Yeah, Hopkins on the 3rd and 15 went for 17.
Oh, that was sickening.
Miller got 13 on the 3rd and 12. He was just a check down, and there was nobody around. He needed 12. He got 13, and he just basically fell forward. Watson scrambled for 2 in the second half. Chris Smith had him wrapped up and lets him fall forward like 3 yards. 3rd and 9 to Hopkins. TJ Carey cannot man up Hopkins.
Look, again,
can anybody, but...
Yes, if
he was holding the fuck out of him the entire game. So handsy.
I don't know. The one sort of looked pretty ticky-tack. Okay, so let's talk about this. So they called especially the second one. The first one they called, definitely looked like he has hands on him. But from what I saw on the angle where we had the sack, and they call that one on TJ Carey. Okay, you could call that on every single play. And then if you go back to the Jabril Peppers where he's covering the tight end, Jordan Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas just dumps him.
Just comes up and just absolutely bulldozes him and throws him off to the side and then turns around and catches the ball. Of course you're going to be wide open. How is that legal? How is that legal, but you can't do it from the other side? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely that's an offensive pass interference, but it just doesn't get called in the NFL very much. TJ Carey, though, I think when you go back and watch this, you're going to see more. I know he got called for defensive holding on back-to-back plays, but I think you're going to see TJ Carey holding Hopkins often.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah.
We'll see when we go back and watch it. How can you expect him to really guard him? With Hopkins, I just don't understand how, we can't really expect TJ Carey to really just be able to, guard him one-on-one. There's just not much. Nobody can really do it. You saw the one catch in the first half where Watson just sort of throws it up to him, and then he just uses his body like textbook of how you shield off the defender, go up with good hands. You saw the other stat. He doesn't drop a pass. So you just throw it up to him, let him go up, make the play. So it's hard to fault TJ Carey. This is a battle that you just don't expect him to win in the first place. So, I thought he gave a valiant effort, but he comes up short 9 times out of 10 in this matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you give Hopkins 7 receptions for 91 yards, I guess that's about the best you're going to do. Really, nobody else did anything. Jordan Thomas, 3 catches, 32 yards. Demaryius Thomas, 3 catches, 32 yards. DeAndre Carter, 6 catches, 32 yards on a bunch of just short little passes. Denzel Ward, I believe, had a concussion issue and went out, but I just couldn't figure out where he went out. I don't know who he was covering beforehand. None of the other wide receivers did anything.
Next thing I know, I read that he was out, but I never noticed he was out. I never saw him go out, never saw him get hurt. The other one was Larry Ogunjobi, did something to his bicep. I don't know how bad that will be a huge loss if we don't have Ogunjobi inside, and hopefully it's nothing that's going to keep him out for an extended time. I want to get it. If he's out for the rest of the year, that's fine, but he needs to be ready for next year. I don't know how long a torn bicep is, but that's going to really in your off-season training program. Yeah, it's just, in the running game, they did halfway decent. Of course, second half, they can kind of take the foot off the gas.
Yeah. Let me go through Miller.
19 carries, 3 yards, 5.4 average. Alfred Blue had 15 for 54. And I already brought up Watson, 7 carries, 30 yards. So, Yeah, they got it done. 187 yards as a team is getting it done.
Yeah. I don't know if you can put this entirely on the defense. The defense played well enough to win. The defense gives up 22.
You put this on 4 turnovers. It's that simple, in my opinion.
Special teams, really nothing of note, I don't think.
Didn't they have a long return right off the jump?
Yeah, but I got called back on a penalty.
Okay, that's right. I was like, here we go. That happened quite a few times today where there's absolutely like huge plays, and then next thing you know, that flag shows up on the bottom of the screen. You're like, okay, what now? Here we go.
There'll be some takeaways from this game. I think the most important part is Mayfield's good, and he was bad in the first half, and they came out and played good enough to put up points in the second half. I mean, if Callaway scores there, if you get a 2-point conversion, we're talking about a 1-score game. They got a 9-side kick, but the dude was offsides. Like, come on, shit. It was a perfect onside kick. You're never going to see that again in the NFL.
Oh yeah, and just the way the rules set up to make it more harder right now. So yeah, it's just I think the takeaway is they came out. Baker struggled, was flat, and it just that's it. It comes down to 4 turnovers. I don't think they. I think the Browns are better than what the score ended up, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a 16-point loss, but if Houston had to put the pedal down in the second half, maybe it's a different game. But
sure,
we did sack Watson 4 times. Houston's line is not good. Watson's just so good at getting out of trouble. It's a dude you can make turn the ball over, but he never really had to panic. He always had an outlet, and the outlet was always open. They sort of let the defense finish up the game.
Yep. I don't know what his second half numbers were because he didn't really have to do much, but Watson's playing really well. Like he's getting it done. They're not asking him to go and they're treating him the way that we should be treating Baker Mayfield and like be the point guard. Which Freddie Kitchens is. That's what he's having. Like find the open guy, just get it to him. Like you don't have to make these huge throws down the field. Just get out the ball quickly. We're going to do a lot of wide receiver screens, things like that to set you up, make it easy for you. And then you got some playmakers there that can do some stuff with, after the ball. Obviously, Will Fuller's out, but you got some, one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL right now.
Yeah, so a little bit of a short show. Carolina's next. They lost in Tampa today.
And then
24-17. Cam Newton threw 4 picks today. So interestingly enough.
So he'll be all.
Yeah.
We'll come back. I'll be on the boat. We'll be doing another preview here later in the week. Yeah, I apologize for having to do this one so short.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. There's more. Yeah, there's more to get to with this game. It's not as bad as it looks. There's nothing to really worry about here. It's a rookie quarterback in a rookie season doing rookie stuff and then coming out and playing like an all-pro in the second half. So,
well, if you could have every half be like the second half, you're all world. You're all universe.
Yeah. Real quick, Mike McCarthy got fired in Green Bay after their loss to a terrible Arizona team.
I want to know is how does that, like I know it's getting out there and Benjamin Albright saying that's the sort of a rumor that he's hearing, but how does that even get, like he's been terrible this year. So how does that even get started? How is that even getting pushed? How is that getting legs? I mean, it should be like Hugh Jackson getting a job at this point.
It's the old boys network, dude, and everybody in our front office is from Green Bay.
On a scale of 1,
McCarthy, well,
yeah, and on a scale from 1 to 10, of 10 being the most disappointing, the hiring of Mike McCarthy gets you what on that disappointing scale?
Yeah, 9. I'm not excited about it at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Like I do not want them to hire Mike McCarthy by any means.
Yeah, so we're gonna hear a bunch of shit about that on Twitter and all these fucking dudes that, want to be first. They're going to be talking about it, and there's going to be rumors. I can't really comment on the head coach stuff because I just don't I don't know these people. What I want out of a head coach is not, I don't care about their record or what they do. I want a dude that can be a leader. And if I never talk to that person, I don't know what kind of guy that is. So I have no opinions on head coaching. I just know Mike McCarthy makes me zero excited.
Yep. And next year's the year, man. I mean, it's just you look at this squad right now, man. We are just so set up. The future is so bright here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd like to get some wins, but we're going to start looking at the draft. We're in the top 10, I think, right now as of this second. Some games are still coming down, and what do we got left? 4 left. I'd rather go win 4 in a row, but it doesn't do us any good draft-wise.
Yes, but you know what? The core of your team is here. If we were still building the core foundation, that would be one thing. But the core foundation of your team is built. Now it's about building up your team's confidence, building up your team's winning mentality, that getting that mindset of, hey, we can compete every single week. We are a badass football team. We just got to play together. This is where you build your team. This is where everybody comes together right here.
I agree there. I just don't, if Ward has a bad concussion from today, I don't want Ward to be out there trying to get wins when we're out of the race and catching more concussions. I don't want, Mayfield can go out there and throw 16 picks over the next 4 games. He ain't going to give a fuck when it comes around to next year. I'm not worried about Mayfield. I'm not worried about Garrett. Those guys are showing up. If Ogunjobi has a bicep tear, that could be, I want everyone to get healthy through these last 4 games. I would like to win, but I'm not worried about Mayfield's mental state going into next year at all. Zero.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Right. I think it's bigger than that, though. It's a team mentality, and Mayfield is the catalyst of that. He's the one that everybody's looking to for guidance right now. You can just tell by the way he talks to people, the way. Did you see when Callaway fumbles that ball, Mayfield running up first guy to him, saying, "Hey, man, it's okay.
It's cool. All right. Right. We'll be back next week." Yeah. Yep. Mayfield immediately clocks out of this game, and he clocks in for the Panthers. And this game means nothing to him in the rear view. I'm sure of it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. All right, let's get out of here. I want you to enjoy your vacation, enjoy the cruise. You're on the other side of Florida, so we didn't get to meet up. But next time.
For sure. So you can hit us up on Twitter at STS Podcast, and our email is
survivingtheseason@gmail.com, stspodcasts.com/Patreon to support the show. We appreciate you guys reaching out to us on Twitter, emails. So much fun. You can DM us on Twitter. Greg's always out there talking with anyone that wants to talk about the Browns. It's great. We appreciate it, and it's so much fun to be part of this season. Thank you so much. Anything else, Greg?
No, I agree. Thank you, everybody. Browns community, you guys are fantastic. I apologize for any echo. Like I said, I'm in a bathroom right now doing this. We're going to the ends of the earth to make sure that you guys get your Browns podcast.
#Road to Redemption. Greg, tell them what we say.
Keep on surviving.